Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome to the AEW Post Dynamite show. I am Raz. That is my guest host, Stephen. And today we have a very, very special guest with us. Hi, the Joshi bitch. How are you, my friends?
I am doing all
I
right, Scott.
am
How you doing, buddy?
in a good mood.
You're
I
in
didn't
a
mean to
good
interrupt
mood?
you, Stephen.
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
I am glad to see you guys here. It is a rare thing to get you on camera, Kai, so I'm very,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
appreciative that you did this.
Well, we
How
had
has your
we
week
had a
been?
Joshi from Stardom show up. I couldn't not join into a post show
Yep,
and talk about
that's
it,
fair.
and maybe give the people who only watch AEW some insight on who Mina Shirakawa is.
Yep, and it's only fair that we have you on here since you are the Joshi expert.
Yes,
So otherwise,
which I don't
you'd
know if
be
that's a
just
good thing
sitting
or
there in
not.
the comments, and you'd be sitting there in the comments ranting when I get to that segment, and you're just like, "It's not that."
Yeah.
But
I
we've got a few
will
people in the
say,
chat
when it
already.
comes
We've
to
got
the whole thing of people going and having the assumption of Joshi's just being like hypersexualized. Mina Shirakawa is the worst person to get to make that not seem like the case.
yep, yep. I mean, she does look rather pretty, but
She is very, very talented in the ring, and then we get to the whole segment, especially if we have ABJ join in.
yep,
You know,
yep,
we'll go into them more, but I think you guys try to do things in a chronological order, so
yeah.
you can hold
That's all
that
good.
on.
But we do have a few people in the chat already. We have Mick showing up, and I really appreciate him being here. We have Alex on the Twitch side joining us. As always, it's always good to see him too. It's been a very, very interesting week in pro wrestling this week. We've had a
Indeed.
lot of things go down. Stephen and I pulled our first ever watch along with WrestleMania Night 1. And now we're back for the wrap up of AEW Dynamite. So first things first, let's go what each of you thought of the show overall and what you would possibly rank it.
I would
You
give
go ahead
it.
first.
I'm gonna give it a solid 6. It's
Okay.
about what I'm aiming at. This is not really the best Dynamite, you know.
Yeah, I, I
Yeah.
don't have I don't have a number ranking because those are
Out of 10.
I usually like I will give it more like I like lettering it because then it's not, oh well, you gave this thing too high of a rating and or whatever. So I don't know, C minus probably.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So
like it
just an average show overall.
wasn't a good show,
Yeah.
and
But besides, though, TK is trying to get more viewers, trying to tune in, trying to everybody watch that altercation backstage.
Definitely. It was going to be a controversial show no matter what.
Yeah.
Like that, knowing that was in there, people were going to tune in and want to see what actually happened. Mick gives it an 8.5 out of 10. So that's a solid show for Mick. I
that's it.
personally,
Like that's
You
I don't
know,
think I have any episode of Dynamite that high.
it's rare that Mick doesn't rate a show a 10 plus.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, no, that's Jake that rates at 10 plus.
Mick does too, though.
Okay.
In the
I
past,
haven't been aware of Mick's rating system, so
yeah.
but you know what? Each to their own with their rating systems, and I appreciate everyone doing what they enjoy.
Yep.
Myself, I would rate it probably about a 6.5
Yeah.
if I look at certain points of it. There are definitely certain points that are higher in the show rather than the other sections of the show.
Mhm.
We'll get through those in regards to that, and we'll get through exactly what my thoughts are on that anyway. So,
Yeah.
um, we started the show with what we thought was going to be Samoa Joe versus Dustin Rhodes for the AEW World Title Eliminator, but Swerve attacks Joe upon his entrance, and obviously then they cause a delay in the match. What did you guys think of that segment?
So I was trying to get the stream working, so I didn't have the.
I'm fine with
So
it.
I missed that segment.
I kind of thought that match would be in the main event though, but I know it's going to be some kind of ploy. Swerve will come out to attack Joe.
Yeah,
there's not really matches, not many matches scheduled on the card to begin with. So
no, there really wasn't, and it's one of those things. Like it was it wasn't many matches scheduled on the card, but it was also it was going to be an interesting show whether or not we had matches. So
yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things that you never know what it's going to be like. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just sharing the shit as I
all right,
do.
buddy. It's all right.
Good.
We then moved on from there to a video package of Trent Beretta turning on Orange Cassidy. After that, we go backstage to Renee, who's trying to get an interview with Orange Cassidy, but Cassidy doesn't want to talk. How do you think we're going to go about this feud from here on out?
Probably a grudge match, Trenton versus Orange at Dynasty, probably.
Yep.
Yeah,
What do
that
you
probably
think?
makes the most sense.
It's the only way I can think of it.
What do you think he said to Statlander?
It's hard telling, to be honest with you. She was pretty stunned at what Trent whispered in her ear.
I think the AEW does a really weird thing where they try to blur lines in their storylines, and I think this might be one of those that crosses into what we would consider a blurring of the lines in real life situation. What do you think?
I didn't know anything was going on with
Yep.
that in real life. So
Yeah, I don't know of anything either, but I think that's what they'll try and play into. So, Mick asked why we did not do night 2 of WrestleMania. That was because ABJ was live with his night 2, and Stephen and I were worn out from night 1.
Yeah.
So it was a long night on night 1.
But it was a successful night, though, too.
We spent almost 5 hours on night 1 here on YouTube. It was great to have every single person in the chat and sticking around and just being able to do that watch along. It was amazing. Definitely something we're going to look at possibly doing in the future in regards to shows. We will definitely look at more watch alongs and see how they go as well. Yeah.
But about the Orange, about joining with Trent, you never know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that they want to play something up there because obviously they want to try and create a story or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
We get to, hey, where the fuck did that go? There it is. Sorry. We get to our first official match of the night since the first match didn't actually take place, which is the Penta El Sierra Miedo versus Adam Copeland TNT title match. What did you think of this, and what would you rate this match alone out of it?
Best match of the night.
I'm gonna rate this match a blue out of 10.
A blue
out of 10.
I was so distracted with how blue Penta's gear was that
I'm blue.
I couldn't really focus on the match, and that's just an ADHD thing that I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't focus on it because it was just so fucking blue.
Yeah, and be thankful that I changed it from the browser that we were watching it on, because that would have caused
it would just be a blur, like a blue blob going through the screen.
For some reason, Chrome, watching it on Chrome.
Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Give me a minute.
Stephen will be back. He has to take a phone call, so he will be back. We have C. Henry in the chat. Good evening and good morning, gentlemen. Great WrestleMania stream this past weekend. Thank you, C. Henry. We were just talking about that.
Yeah. Thank you. I was not a part of that, but thank you.
Actually, you were a part of it. You were
I
part
mean, I
of the
was in the
comment.
chat. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
as you can see, C. Henry, we have Kai here for the first time ever, representing the Joshi side of things, to give us a little bit of background on what we will learn about later in the show.
Yes.
Yeah. With the Penta versus Copeland match, I thought it was a strong match. The power slam he did on the apron was insane. I thought that it's definitely obviously a first time match and something that we wouldn't have seen anywhere else. I think we should be glad that Copeland's still in the ring and being able to do this. What do you think, Kai?
Yeah. I would say that I've been a Copeland fan for a long time. Back when I was first watching WWE.
Yeah.
Mainly because as a kid, I was kind of like, oh, he had long hair. I like him.
Fair enough.
That if you had long hair or spiky hair, you were cool. That is how I liked wrestlers when I was a child. Was their
Yeah,
hairstyle.
that's fair. That's fair. Mick has asked the
Surprise!
question, what are you doing watch party again? Possibly going to do a watch party for Dynasty. It will depend on if I'm working or um, with regards to whether or not it will actually happen. It's one of those things that with my work, I do have to take work when I get it, but I will try my hardest to look at doing a watch along for Dynasty. And that will keep Kai happy because he'll probably see a Joshi wrestler in there somewhere.
Do we have the Dynasty card?
Don't think we've got Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa. I know that that's definitely on there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get an appearance by a Joshi wrestler, and probably the same one that appeared tonight.
Maybe.
Yep.
Mina is still on Stardom. It's not like she left Stardom.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
just still in America because she's working Windy City.
From what I've heard, they want to work more with Stardom, so there is a possibility.
I mean, yeah, because Tony wanted to work Stardom, but
What I missed, guys? Sorry.
didn't go well.
You haven't missed much. We were still going on about Penta versus Copeland, and we were just talking about the potential of dynasty matches and stuff as well. Alex says he just saw the footage. We'll get to that footage section very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm going to I have a few things I want to say about it that people are going to disagree with, and people are probably going to pick my argument apart. But we'll see how it goes.
But all around though, you're entitled to your opinion, like everybody else.
Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, even if people think that I'm wrong, or that's their choice. Mick, if Tantalizing Tony wants to come on, I don't mind. It's up to him.
Hold on.
Same with ABJ. If they both want to come on, they can come on. I don't mind. Do you need to go again, Stephen? Okay, Stephen's muted. That's okay. We'll just remove him for a moment while he deals with what he needs to deal with. So Adam Copeland.
Once you see him join once you see him in the studio again, to bring him back in, make sure we start talking about Stardom, so it's always on there. Like just like where I can't go away from it. I think that's funny. And I was gonna say something else, but totally forgot. So where were we?
We were talking about the Copeland match.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about Dynasty. That's where we were
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Mina still has work to do in Stardom. Like
Yeah.
she's working Windy City Riot, so she's out here. My next prediction is that probably an ROH. We might get an Azumi appearance
Yeah.
because she's also in working Windy City, and she needs momentum going into that match because
Yeah.
for some reason they had her lose every Stardom or every match that she was in this week. And I'm like, you're putting her in a title match with Stephanie McCourt, and you're having her lose every match leading up to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah. I get where you're going with that. Welcome back, Stephen.
Yeah, sorry
Let's go
guys.
into it,
My
Stardom.
brother was interrupting me. He's knocking the door.
Yeah. So we were
Very
just
good.
talking about Stardom again.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Because like you left the first time and you came back, and even though Raz is the one who brought it up, we were in a discussion of Stardom, and I was like, oh god, I'm never gonna escape this. It's like
Gotta take it I didn't miss much. No, just kidding.
oh, shots fired.
no,
I don't think you're going to be able to step in Kansas anymore, Stephen.
No.
yeah, we might have to throw hands, and then you'll easily kick my ass because I can't fight.
Off to see the wizard.
Because
But getting back to the match, Copeland wins the match via a spear in midair, gets the 1-2-3, and then we get Brody King attacking Adam Copeland. Julie goes for the mist on Copeland, but Willow attacks Julia to make the save. What did you think of this segment, and how do you think they could have done it better?
I will say that I liked that you told me what the finish was because I went up and got a glass of water and then I came back and it was over, so I missed it. Because I guess it was really out of nowhere because it's like, oh, they're not doing anything right now. It's Russell, so let me grab a bottle of water real quick, and then it was over. But
Yeah.
It'd probably
since
be more
I
fun if Malachi and Buddy was there, but they weren't there. So
Yeah. I think it was good. I think it's good because it keeps up the story going into Dynasty of what's coming. I think potentially we're going to get a double or nothing match with Malachi versus Copeland for the TNT title.
mhm.
And I think that's what's going to happen. So
yo, what's up, Dylan?
Hey, Dylan.
we have Dylan in the chat as well. Dylan, you get to witness the first time ever here, where you have your boy Kai live on stream.
The boy that's not a boy.
Yeah. You're they Kai.
The big guy. No, so
The
since I
Joshi
have Joshi bitch. So since I have a camera and a microphone, I might as well give my take and use your platform to
Uh-oh.
give my take that could hurt you, maybe.
We're canceled, Scott.
I do not like Julia Hart at all. I don't get her. I think her character work, I think she has a great look until she tries to look pissed and angry and creepy because it just makes her look like you told her that she's getting a different car than the one she wanted for her Sweet 16. And just super upset about it.
You're not
And
kind of not
I
wrong.
think her in
Kind of not wrong.
and I think her in-ring work is less than desirable.
He
But
definitely
it could
has.
be the wrestling that I watch is just on a completely different level that I go and I see her and I'm like,
Kai, you have support from Alex. Alex says, "Nah, we ain't cancelled until I approve of it." And trust me, we've had conversations in this chat where I've cancelled Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Can you guys hold down the fort
You
for a
didn't share
second?
it.
I will be right back.
Sure.
If you wanted the Taylor Swift fans to come out, you gotta
Hey,
go and
Dylan.
put her on. You have to say something negative about Taylor Swift on Twitter, and then you get all the hate from that. You say it on a video, they're never gonna come, especially if it's wrestling.
Dude, I can't stand Taylor
What's up,
Swift.
Dylan?
What's going on, Kai? How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to see you.
Wait,
Happy
I
to see
already
what you
asked
actually
you
look
that.
like now, even though we're hanging out in the Discord all the time. So it's
I
nice
got
to
third
put
trim right
a
here.
face to the
This
face
is
to the
a
voice.
this is a rare
Raz, how are you?
appearance.
I won't be falling asleep this time. I
Are you
promise.
sure? Are you
Listen,
sure?
I'm 100% awake. I'm standing upright. I'm not in bed this time, falling asleep like a jabroni. There's no snoring on this episode, I'll tell you that. But how's everybody doing tonight? Steven, how are you, buddy?
I am doing all right, buddy. How you been doing, Dylan?
Good, good. Where are we at on the show? I don't want to jump in.
Stardom.
Well,
We're pretty
all
much
right.
on we were just
we're talking about
Julia
how
Hart.
Julia Hart's not that good.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a good place to start, I guess. So
Yes,
she's
we
like
were.
she reminds me of Taylor Swift. No.
Oh,
Don't
fucking
disrespect
stop.
Taylor
Oh,
like
no.
that.
We are starting a war now.
Starting a war. Taylor
See,
Swift
but then again,
reminds
like-
us of Julia Hart.
Hey,
See,
I just want to test this one just to see how this is going to turn out. Oh, it only
Interesting.
puts 3 of us.
yeah, fuck off, Dylan.
Sorry, dude.
That's all right. That's all
You
right.
didn't get to be the meat in the sandwich.
Yeah, that's all right. Maybe next time.
But no, I definitely see how you see that, Kai. She definitely doesn't have the ability to pull off the angry face. She just looks like a teenager that's just mildly inconvenienced
Yeah.
and is constantly like pouty face rather than angry.
And but yeah, I will say that she is improving. Like, and I
I like her
don't mean to
gimmick,
be
though. No. I don't
too
think her
harsh.
gimmick's wrong, though. I don't think her gimmick is wrong. I like her gimmick.
Yeah,
Sure, it's
I
like
think
better
she
than
has
this.
one of the.
not for her.
I think she has one of the best entrances in professional wrestling today. She definitely has a great entrance. Oh, we're getting overloaded here. It's going crazy.
There it is.
There he is.
I will say this before ABJ comes in and
Oh, I'm coming.
and I know you are. I know you got a full load ready to go, sacked up. But yeah, listen, I definitely think that Julia Hart has improved since she has been in AEW to an extent. I think there's still some things that in ring wise she needs to work on. Some of that fundamental wrestling is a little lost with her from time to time, especially with her signature move. She seemingly keeps on overshooting the turnbuckle spot that she does. I'm losing the name of what it is, but
So
yes, thank you. That moonsault.
her
Sometimes
moonsault is
she's
awful.
yeah,
sorry.
it displays worse than it actually does to the body that she's coming on top of. And with that, it does make her whole gimmick in somewhat of a sense a little weak. She's trying to be this devilish, fiendish type of character when it comes to the whole House of Black and darkness and 666 and all that fun stuff. But then her ability to wrestle in the ring defeats that character that she's portraying outside of the ring. I like her imagery that she's trying to show outside of the ring. I do think that there's still a misconnection with that benevolence, I should say, that she has to offer. But again, it's still a lot of, no one's perfect overnight. No one could be ABJ, you know what I mean? So it's just like sometimes you just kind of gotta try again. Taylor Swift's first couple demo tapes weren't that good. Now I guess she's finding success. So, it's just after a while,
She found an NFL player,
Yeah.
got her some clout,
exactly. That always pushes album sales. But all jokes aside, like I think that we're at a stage where we have people like Mercedes in there. We have people like Tony Storm and Mariah May and a lot of others that she can work off of. And I think that this Willow match here, she might not be the best part of the show, but I don't think that her caliber is going to be degraded. I think it's going to be a little bit more elevated when it comes to someone like Willow, who has found a really good foot forward in her in-ring ability besides character work.
Well,
So,
it's too.
my thing for that.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead, Steven.
I think they shouldn't have gave the TBS title to Julia in the first place. I don't think she was ready for the title to begin with. But I really believe Willow's going to get the title, and I think Mercedes is going to get it double or nothing.
See, I'm going to disagree with you. I think giving her the TBS title has helped her improve her in-ring work and her character development in that regard. I think that it might have been wrong at the start of it because obviously you had people like Jade and it was at the expense of Statlander. But at the same time, she's now been working to actually build herself up as a actual talent.
Yeah,
I think her biggest downfall is for her in ring. I don't think her in ring's bad. I've called some matches in the independent scene where she worked matches with talent who weren't on her level, and she definitely played the veteran role in those matches, and she was able to take control of the match and dictate the match and do the pace of the match, and they were great matches. I think she's struggling to find herself with this spooky gimmick character and make that a character in the ring as well. I think that's like when you see people like Bray and Malachi and these darker characters that there are Finn Balor, where you can watch a Finn Balor match, but then when Finn Balor's the demon, he wrestles completely different. It's a different match, it's a different style. Julia hasn't found that gear yet when it comes to her wrestling and then wrestling as a spooky character.
Yeah. What was your take, Kai?
So when you were bringing up her match with Willow, I think it's going to highlight more of Julia's faults because Willow is that good. And Willow kind of wrestles a somewhat similar style to Julia Hart. And I can see her not being able to keep up with Willow in that, and it can possibly make her look weak. But I think Willow is also talented enough to where she can try to force it for Julia to go in a better look and position.
I think Willow will be Julia's best match on television. And this is not so much a negative to Julia, it's a huge positive for Willow. Watching Willow as much as I've seen Willow and seen some of her work and her talent as she's been growing through the scene, Willow can literally wrestle anyone's style, but still wrestle a Willow match and bring the best out of people. I still think Jade's best match on screen ever in her career has been Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale and Athena are probably the best female wrestling match that's been on TV in the past 10 years. Like her and Athena at ROH main event was unbelievable. Like Willow's really, really talented. I think the only match that Willow had a struggle with was with her and Chris Statlander is when they looked insanely gassed, but they put such a fast pace throughout that match and just really, really strong work rate. And they're both not, when I don't say, I'm not saying small girls in the aspect of like their size and body shaming or any of that aspect. So I don't want people to misconstrue it, but they're very strong, muscular beef. Like there's a lot of muscle mass to both those women, and they're manhandling each other. That's like watching Bronson Reed and Ivar trying to body slam each other over and over and over again. It's just a lot of mass, and it's a lot of fast paced exertion in that style of match. And I think that's the only one that kind of looked weak, but it still made sense for the style they put together in that showcase.
Yeah. But I will say it won't live up to a different Julia facing Willow. I can guarantee that one.
Yeah. I want to bring up what C. Henry said about Julia has such a baby face that this gimmick isn't for her. I think that goes back to what you were saying, Kai, of her being angry. And when I said she always looks like a teenager who's mildly annoyed, it goes back to that. She does have a very pretty aesthetic looking face, and she has that standard of what is classed as pretty and what is classed as cute. And I think that's why C. Henry is saying this sort of gimmick isn't really working for her.
Like aesthetically, I love her aesthetic a lot. I think Lily can kind of attest to me on this one of thinking that she might have one of the best fashions in Stardom. Or not.
Lily, we can't.
I'm
hear
gonna
you.
go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and bump that up from. She does not just have one of the best fashions in Stardom. I think she has one of the best fashion styles, able to describe her character through her fashion and express who her character is in all of wrestling.
And that's what I was saying. I was saying that I think that Julia has one of the best entrances that we have seen in wrestling for years.
Y'all are biased to spooky characters. That's what it comes down
Well,
to.
if I was going to go with the
You're not wrong.
spooky character, then I might like Julia Hart a little bit more, but I don't.
Listen, I'm a giant horror movie fan, and I like when the lines get blurred, but it's just.
And that's not to say that I don't like Julia. Like I do enjoy Julia's wrestling. I don't think that she, like you've said billions of times, the spooky character is just not working with her. She's not embodying it, I feel like, fully as it should be embodied. However, I'm not just saying this from a biased point of like, listen, I don't know jack about any type of wrestling, but from what I've seen, like what I mean when I say that Julia embodies her style, I feel like she embodies that more than, I'm talking about Julia from Stardom, embodies it more than Julia Hart does. Like Julia Hart goes for a spooky thing and it doesn't connect. When Julia does something aesthetically, it makes sense to who she is as a character. But I don't know what fashion we're talking about in regards to today, so I'm a little.
The biggest disconnect when it comes to Julia in this spooky character is, let's historically look back at what has been presented to us in the spooky character form of wrestling. It's a 7 foot tall Undertaker. It's a demon Finn Balor. It's Finn Balor was tough too. Finn Balor is a smaller sized guy that looks like he's not going to overpower people, but he was able to find a way that like his character can take more damage. He can do this. He wrestles differently. He crawls. He does like Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt had a little bit of size to him. He looked unstoppable. He wrestled like a tank. Julia hasn't found that gear yet with her character. Abaddon still kind of struggles with their character in that aspect, where the visuals there, but what makes that character stand out in the paranormal sense? Are you just someone who has a look, or is there an entity part to you? And I think that's where House of Black, let's be real, has that struggle right now, where Malachi is just carrying it because we know Malachi has been that character for so long, where he's just kind of, is he paranormal, or is he just kind of like a goth kid? You know what I mean? Like, but he pulls it off. You know what I'm saying? Like the lights, they do the light out, light on deal, which is fine. I think that's the limitation of what pretty much you get when it comes to paranormal characters. But Julia hasn't found that gear in her character where if you beat her down 100 times, will she stand back up? You know what I mean? Like they're like, she hasn't, like, so Finn Balor, he found a way to do it. Bray Wyatt has the crab crawl. Undertaker has the sit up. Kane has the sit up. Like, what's Julia's thing that makes her stand out as a paranormal character?
The lights go out.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Are you still talking about
and
Julia
she's
Hart?
been using
Julia
the
Hart,
mist
yeah.
as well. Like, she's been using the mist as well, but we all know that that's a carryover from.
But the problem is, the problem with the mist is it's so inconsistent. Sometimes the mist blinds people and makes them turn characters, and then sometimes it does absolutely nothing. They've been so inconsistent with the mist that doesn't even stick.
I think
Sky Blue, for example.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Russ.
I think what C. Henry said here, Abaddon would have been a better fit with the House of Black than Julia. I can definitely see where C. Henry is getting that, because Abaddon's character is that scary, spooky, I'm gonna fucking eat you alive sort of character.
But you feel that in your soul. You feel that intimidation just upon looking at them. But then bring in Julia. And I don't mean this again. I don't mean this as like as a knock to her, but you look at her and you're like, well, where's the intimidation coming? When is
Well,
it going
that's
to be there?
that's what I was saying
Well,
before is
right.
that Julia Hart has that look of a teenager that's mildly annoyed and just pouty all the time when she's supposed to be angry.
Agreed.
Well, she's only 22. She's got a bright future. I'll give her that. Though.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I don't think she's a bad wrestler. I just don't think that this is.
It's a hard gimmick to try to figure out.
Right.
It's
She's
because
got
there's a
good
lot of
years to work out.
when you enter the world of horror wrestling and you enter that character phase, there's huge shoes to fill, and if you don't fill them, it's hard to stand out.
Yeah, she's
I do
definitely
want
got
to
a.
correct Dylan and Raz on something though. When we were talking about the Mist, and both of you brought up Muda, we should also bring in the fact that it's actually the Great Kabuki who created the Mist.
Mhm.
Started that.
I didn't say Muda. I said it started in Japan.
I did. I said Muda.
Okay, so I guess you
'Cause
guys. kinda talked at the
I
same
only
time.
know the
Dylan.
Mist. I know.
How dare you.
I'm a fucking terrible person.
It's always
Uh,
What do you think,
it's
guys?
always me.
This is-
Look at me
these-
with
that's
Moxley.
just-
You know what I
that's
mean?
Let's just get that's just
It's just
Wait a second. Whoa.
again,
I'm
just
here trying to
fuck
share
off,
the
Dylan.
goddamn chat, and I'm getting kicked out of the damn thing. Wow, pathetic. No, and
Like-
it's only because I know Muda as the one to do something like that. I
Muda.
don't-
And
Muda
look-
coined it and probably made it the most popular.
Right,
yeah,
and I think
yeah.
that's probably why I know it more because of that person than someone like what Kai was just saying. You know, from
Another
Kabuka.
fine example.
Kabuki?
Another fine example with that is
someone Kabaka,
the-
something like that.
the
Kabaka.
another fine example of that is what everybody
Blame
knows
it on
as
the
the
New York accent.
sharpshooter. Started out as the Scorpion Deathlock. Sting used it first, and then Bret Hart used it. But everybody goes with that Bret Hart has, or everybody's doing the sharpshooter, rather than the Scorpion Deathlock, where they're essentially the damn same move.
That being said,
Whoa.
I do think there was somebody else.
What did you
I'm pretty
do,
sure they're
ABK?
also
I
from
didn't do it
Japan.
that time.
I don't know how to do it, so
I don't either.
Can't.
I really don't either.
so
Dylan,
Also
if
that
you're
being said,
listening,
I'm
you can
pretty sure there
try
was
and come back
somebody-
in.
He's like,
Japan.
screwed.
I
I'm
think
going
they're
to
from
bed.
Japan. I don't know, but I'm
Good bit,
pretty
good
sure there
bit.
was somebody who did it before Sting as well.
No, Sting was the first one to do.
I'm sorry. I tried exiting out all the goddamn tabs because I was trying to share the damn thing, and I exited out the
Okay.
wrong tab.
We're all
I'm
placing
sorry.
blame on each other on who kicked you.
Yeah, and no, it was
At least
Raz.
you didn't fall asleep At least he's not falling asleep this time, maybe.
Yeah, listen, I'm
And,
wide awake, baby. You know what I mean? After watching that beautiful video from EVPs, there was no way I was going to sleep after that.
We're getting to that shortly. We're getting
Yeah.
to that very, very shortly.
Steven
but
did happen to bring up Julia Hart being 22, and I'm gonna be a bit facetious here. On you know who else is 22? Starlight Kid.
Taylor Swift.
I was just about to say Taylor Swift.
I'm feeling 22. That's all.
Someone clip that.
Someone get Robbie Uraki in here to finish this.
Listen, I might be a Swiftie after this month's over. I don't know. We'll see.
I won't
Please
be.
don't.
I definitely won't
don't.
be.
I'll have
I
to-
never will be.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Yeah,
You know what,
you-
Raz?
Yeah,
Someone
you
get me a
will.
Taylor Swift T-shirt. I'm gonna start rocking it.
You know what, Raz? He probably wants to see
you
Taylor
wouldn't mind.
Swift after All In.
This is going to turn into me throwing him in front of the train in London and taking.
Dude, I
his
will wear a
title.
Taylor Swift shirt at least one day in London. I swear to God.
I will not be wearing a Taylor Swift shirt.
I flew
I want
all
that
the way
fuzzy
from
one that you made.
Pennsylvania to go to Wembley Stadium in hopes that Taylor Swift might be here.
I came a week too late. And I'm gonna. That's gonna be my T-shirt.
I heard
ABJ,
she
I
was
want that
performing
fuzzy
this
one that we
week. I
made
guess
for
I
the
missed
show.
it.
What's that?
So I did.
I want that fuzzy one that we made for the show with Taylor Swift.
Oh, the Fozzy one. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was gold.
So I looked it
Um,
up, Raz.
Uh-oh.
The sharpshooter, originally named Sasori Gatame, the move was invented by Japanese professional wrestler Riki Koshu and was popularized by Sting.
There you go. There you go.
But I only know
But
Sting,
it's
so that's all that
still
matters to me.
it was still used by Sting before it was used by Bret Hart.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But everybody knows it because Bret Hart was in WWF, and WWF now WWE is the big thing in the wrestling world and is the number one company in the world. I say that
being
in
said,
I say
it
that in
does,
air quotes because people know that, and generally people know of wrestling because of the Attitude Era.
it does translate to Scorpion Deathlock though. So
Yeah,
Scorpion or Sting didn't even change the name, which is kind of crazy that it works that way.
yeah. Well, Sting's bloody whole persona was based on a scorpion anyway, so ABJ is just
A
like,
certain,
Are we inadvertently doing
Scorpion
math
is my
to
favorite
break
breed of
down
crow,
his
so it's
name?
okay.
Wait, are we also saying that once again the craziest thing about Sting and the most thing that made him iconic, he stole from somebody else again?
he didn't steal, he got it given to him.
Yeah.
He was just gifted it without asking for it.
Well,
Yeah.
another thing to know about Sting, he didn't use that Scorpion Deathlock until he debuted in the NWA.
Yeah.
Ooh, Steven with the hot takes.
So,
Steven with the jazz.
Steven is an encyclopedia of wrestling.
He said, "BP ain't here today. I'm number one."
Also, Lily, because I
Oh,
know that
this-
you're here, I don't know if you've noticed, but you have the Kai on the screen.
I did see hi Kai. Hi.
It's his first ever appearance
Yeah, this is great.
On your show,
on
I
my
only
show.
do one on ABJ's,
but
yeah.
I have seen.
This
This
is the
isn't
first
the
time for me.
face reveal for Kai for me.
Yeah, but Kai's here for the full show, so
That's fair.
That
That's fair.
is true. I'm not just here for 10 minutes, so
yeah.
That's
I,
So,
I've been
He
here
only
for
had him
almost
in for 10
45 minutes.
Getting back to where we
He's
were
not
on
even
the
paying
show.
attention.
yeah.
Getting back to where we were on the show.
He's
we
going
were
on
then
MLB The Show now.
next backstage with Lion Hook and Shibata. I ain't gonna lie, I want that Lion Hook shirt because that Lion Hook shirt
Why?
looked cool.
Why would you want
looked
anything to do with Jericho?
He's talking about Hook.
I'm sorry.
I don't know about all that.
Sorry about that.
It's a
Wild.
cool shirt, I guess.
Yeah. I loved the fact that Shibata was using the phone translator.
That was
he-
funny.
and that he just
he did that in
holds it
Ring
up.
of Honor. He's been doing that in when he was in Ring of Honor.
And I
Bet.
love the fact that he goes back and just tells Renee that he loves her necklace. It's like, that's gold. We next get a Young Bucks FTR video package.
Ah,
Just the video
Here we go.
package.
So nobody
highlighting-
actually cares about this moment. We can kind of just skip over it. And we'll get to
yeah,
the next
highlighting
segment.
the three
Yeah.
matches that they've already had. We then go backstage with Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston. Copeland comes in, kind of throwing a bit of shade at Kingston and Briscoe here because they didn't come out to save him. We get Willow and Copeland versus Julia Hart and Brody King announced for next week on Dynamite.
I laughed my head off what Copeland's calling the 6-man team. Was it rated chicken honks or something like that? Rated
Yeah, I liked the one thing I did like is where Stokely was just like for Willow to get the TNT title shot against Copeland. That was gold.
yeah, that was funny.
Alex is coming with and as Cody would say, what do you want to talk about? Which is the next segment. Probably the most awkward segment in the show, in my opinion. We go backstage to the Young Bucks, which it wasn't even backstage; it was a pre-recorded interview.
Yeah.
Can I before we go into this, can I just say real quick that this segment, AEW for the longest time has always built their shows on, man, we have these fantastic matches that you're going to be really excited for to watch. And as AEW fans, which I'm sure we all are, that's what makes us pumped to watch their product. And I know this will probably never get seen by AEW because who the fuck are we, right? But like, that's what brought us to the dance. That's why we're here. This is why we love AEW, is because you turn around, you tell us we're going to give you this matchup that you should actually care about. In any other world, you give me a match that has Adam Copeland taking on Penta, and I'm fucking sold. But the fact that you base this entire show on this segment, and I know we were talking on my last show about like we're in the minority and the rest of the world wants to see this. I think from when it comes to the AEW side of things, I don't think the AEW diehards did. I
No.
think those crossover fans who are AEW and WWE are pro WWE but hate AEW but are only tuning in to see this because they wanted to fail. Like, this does nothing for anybody, and it brought the entire vibe of this show down to a point where, like, no matter what they put in front of me, I really didn't care about tonight.
Yeah.
C. Henry says, I felt like AEW was trying to blur the lines between reality and fiction. And look, yes and no. My opinion on this segment was that did we need to see the footage? No, I don't think we did.
Months too
Is
late.
it good that they're being clear and honest with showing the footage? Yes. It could have been
If they were
done
going to be
at-
clear and honest, they should have added the audio.
It could have been done at a better time, like around the time the actual incident happened, the week even if it was the week after.
Show us the other footage.
in my
That's what we
opinion-
want to see.
Yeah,
Not
we
that
want
it's
we want the footage from Brawl Out.
Yeah, it's easy to show footage that you're not involved in.
That footage was from the security camera, Lily, so it had no audio.
That I understand, but what I would like to say is, if you were going to show the video for what it was, then don't talk about it for 10 minutes and say, this is what's about to happen. This is what you're about to watch. This is how bad this was. And this. You're telling a narrative of what it is before anyone could even see it. So you're already putting it in their mind that this is how things went down. And then to have it on there, I understand it was from a security aspect, but if you don't have the audio, don't even show the fucking video. What was the point of that? To go along with your narrative for something that was completely irrelevant, just to have a clap back? Congratulations. You solved nothing there.
Yep.
For me, the way the footage show, or what they showed with the footage, for me, it showed me that Punk flew off the handle and definitely overreacted to a situation that could have easily been resolved if he walked away and then had a chat with Tony Khan behind the scenes.
But the chats had already been happened, and nothing was being done about it.
This is a buildup. You're watching.
You're watching just the
This
explosion.
This is the breaking point. This guy was attacked backstage with his friend's pregnant wife, and his dog got 2 teeth kicked out of their face. He was in trouble for it. And the entire time before that even happened, you have EVPs and everyone talking crap about you to the dirt sheets and burying your name and burying your character, and then bring up stuff that legit was a legal battle that cost you a lot of money and your best friend. And then that's being thrown back into your face and being put on television. Like, there's legal ramifications to some of those conversations that were brought up between him and Colt Cabana, and the Elite are throwing that in his face and telling the dirt sheets that that's a thing. Like, that guy is trying to get past that moment of his life, and you're using it to hurt him again. So that leads up to the first press conference fight. And then he goes, I'm done. Leave me out. Get me out of here. I quit. And then you say, no, we'll keep you. We'll make 2 separate shows, and their people will be on one show and your people will be on another. And they keep sending more people over to mess with him and getting more people involved in this drama. He flies to another country, gets left at the airport, and then shows up at a show, and a guy's right before his match, his guy's trying to fist fight and do stupid stuff with him again. Like, at that point, I'm just, you know what? Someone's getting choked the fuck out. Like, that's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
There's only so much one person can take.
I think, though, for me, it's the fact that I get why he reacted the way he did. I understand that. I think as in a professional setting, though, he shouldn't have reacted that way. And you can attest to this, ABJ. If someone came up to you,
I'm sorry to cut you off. I understand what you're saying, but all of this shit that happened was backstage. This is technically behind the scenes. This wasn't in a professional setting. This wasn't in front of an audience. This wasn't for people to see.
It's still a professional setting.
But the idea of saying that AEW is a professional setting is even a joke all on its own, because they don't even conduct themselves in a professional setting. If this was a professional setting, it wouldn't have gotten to the point it gotten to, because your professional setting bosses haven't put it in a situation where they can treat it, they treat it professional. This entire setup has essentially gone down the way it's gone down is because people can't be professional and they can't do their job and they can't just leave well enough alone, and they keep poking and prodding at a guy because they know historically CM Punk will handle it the way CM Punk will. He asked numerous times to have it handled properly. They refuse to do that. CM Punk's not he comes from a different era of professional wrestling where if you have a beef, you go outside, you take care of it, and you come back in. And this newer generation talks that talk, but they don't walk that walk. And CM Punk got sick of it. He goes, listen, I came to you so many times and I asked you to take care of this problem. You refused to. Now your boy's getting choked out.
Now I'm gonna handle it.
I'm gonna give Jack Perry a small taste of what I can't give to the EVPs.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Jack Perry's a victim of circumstance here. I think he was gaslit by a bunch of people who have higher power and position in the company who gaslit him to go poke and prod at CM Punk. I don't think Jack Perry's a bad kid. I really don't.
But why was he hanging around backstage to begin with? His match is over with. He should just go to the locker room instead of just hanging around backstage.
If you notice, back at All In, Punk and Joe's match was right after Perry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they were backstage.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Also in Gorilla is where people kind of gather and the two talent have their conversation with their agent and with the people in production to be like, yo, how did it go? What can we learn? What did you think? Like, that's kind of a meeting spot where, and Lily's starting to kind of see this a little bit of shows, but you'll see people all gathered in Gorilla, but it's not everybody. It's the match that's about to happen and the match that's just getting done. And they all kind of meet in that spot. And there's conversations between two different agents and the people saying, here's what you got to do. Here's how you like, you know what I mean? And so that they were kind of all in the same place at the same time. Just the only problem was Jack Perry looked at a camera and said, real glass, baby, what are you going to do about it? And then forgot when he hit the curtain that guy was going to be standing there waiting for his match.
Yeah.
I think, and Kai, you can probably attest to this as well. Like similar thing, not fight wise, but bands backstage. Like bands are watching from the side. Like band members are watching from the side of the stage, and it's generally before they go on to play.
Yeah, like for me, I guess with that, like if I'm opening or if I'm like, or even if I'm like in the middle somewhere, like I will go. Like if it's before me, I'll probably go and I'll watch from the side or the back. But like after I'm off, I go in the crowd and I'm just hanging out in there, enjoying the show like anybody else. But
but this was right
even
after
the one
their
show
match.
that
This was
I
right
helped.
after their match. So
Yeah, right after Fountain City Pro, there's when I did that one show that they had.
Yeah,
They had I was everywhere, but I was mainly like right at the curtain for most of it. You know, that I can be like that first person be like, hey, good job guys, good job, or go out there, go kill it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
excuse me.
So a lot of times people are just hanging back in that area regardless.
I think that this definitely killed the momentum of the show in regards to what they were trying to put out for the show.
It wasn't something that wasn't already told to us either.
Yeah, it's something that they could have easily just left it alone now that it's been 8 months. If they had turned around and done it 2 weeks after the actual incident, different story. Because you could have brought up the fact of this is why we fired CM Punk.
Yeah.
That would make sense. And then like everybody is trying to say, oh well, hey, if you got this actual beef, let's make money, turn this into a story. But now they wait until everybody's gone and all that smoke is cleared. But again, they showed pretty much exactly how CM Punk explained it.
Yep.
And it's like
after the footage, we get the.
I wanted to say something quick. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Steven, did you want to go first? I didn't know if you wanted to.
Go ahead.
No? Okay. And I said this just a little while ago on ABJ show for the watch along. As a fan who stopped watching wrestling in 2010, just getting back into it during 2020, AEW is not something that I gravitated to right away, like a lot of others, and kind of was worked a little bit into enjoying this part of the product because I only knew mostly WWE and some TNA, and that was really about it. Is that after such a long time, them playing this racquetball of pittiness back and forth of who's taking whose shot and who's trying to go and be the bigger person in this situation to make X amount of company look better. The fact that they surrounded the whole incident around trying to still sell the tickets to Dynasty for the FTR and Bucks match with this tournament that's going on is pathetic. And someone as a fan, myself, who watches this show every week, besides like take my content creation out of this for a second, as a fan who watches this, you lost me. You made me now not want to watch Collision. You've made me not want to watch Dynamite next week. You made me even consider not buying that Dynasty pay-per-view. And that Dynasty pay-per-view looks amazing. But I tell you now, because of this pettiness, you might not be getting my $50 because I don't want to support a company that's willing to not only market a pay-per-view around a very serious incident that costed 2 people their jobs and the health and safety of others as a ploy to get more money in order to sell that next big thing. And on top of that, the fact that they had FTR coming out, which is I know that's what kind of we were going to, having them come out and literally say how they felt and how we feel as fans, like you're as petty that you need to please continue. I know what you just saw was pathetic. I know what you just saw was 8 months that was not needed. This whole segment that just happened, pathetic. But please don't take it out on the Copelands of the world, the Willow Nightingales of the world, the FTRs, the people that are coming here that love what we do, that love how much we care about this business, this art form. Please don't take it out on us and stop watching the product and stop even considering the idea of not watching Dynasty. So now this has become more of a, now you're taking the fun out of it, completely out of it. Whether you want to blur the lines in reality and fiction is a totally different thing. But you're taking the fun out of this business and making it a who's going to one up the other. Well, one said something on an interview, other one said something first. That's now this has just become whose size is bigger. And honestly, as a fan, I'm just like, you know what? If you're willing to berate your own company just to be better in this little bidding war or war of who's a better promotion, I don't want any part in it, and I don't want to be affiliated with the period going forward.
Can I give you a little personal insight? So as someone who, I mean, you're part of the Discord, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't put out publicly, but I tell people I'm close to. I have some beef and some heat with local promotions in my area, our local talent. It's not something that I'm proud of, but sometimes you got to stand on your business. You know what I'm saying? But there's a few times where I had fans who came up who were like, "Yo, how come you don't associate with this people anymore? You're not here, you're not there." Or you have promoters who take personal shots at each other via social media of my independent company is better than your independent company. And the only person that hurts is you. Because exactly what Dylan said on all aspects of entertainment, wrestling, business, music, small business, pizza shops, it could be anything. Most people who support small business and support art, when your art is an escape for them, when they turn on professional wrestling, it's for them to get away from their everyday Monday lives and their drama and their bullshit. And when they want to go to an independent wrestling show or they want, and I'm guilty of this, I've been involved in it. There's been situations where fans felt like they had to choose whether they go to a show or not because I'm there or not. And I told them flat out, go. There's no beef. Like, go support the talent, go support those people. Just because I'm not there doesn't mean you should not support them. But the only person that this hurts is you as the business owner, because it, like, just exactly what Dylan said, art form, music, art, all of that is an escape for you to get away from your bullshit, to enjoy something that puts you in a happy place. And when it gets to a point where you can no longer enjoy your happy place because it turns into petty nonsense, it's not fun for anybody anymore.
Yeah. And this definitely has set back AEW's future and where it could be in the next 2 to 3 years as a company as a whole, as that scapegoat for what we know as professional wrestling because of the eyes of WWE being the quote unquote pillar of what professional and sports entertainment is. Having AEW as that outlet, like Copeland said just a few weeks prior, in a different form. This is a different type of wrestling that not many people are really accustomed to. And that's another reason why I feel like AEW gets a lot of hate, is because they're not accustomed to the same wrestling style or way that the show is booked or displayed to the public each and every week. But yeah, and just quickly, and I'm sorry, Raz, for going so long, but watching the Ariel Helwani interview with Punk, I'll be honest, when he came out in Survivor Series, I made a big TikTok about it, and I said that this was the worst decision that WWE has done. They took away Randy's spot, all this stuff, bashing Punk, saying that the whole pay-per-view now is about him, this, that, and the third. Watching that Ariel Helwani interview changed my outlook on who Punk is, and Punk, how he spoke and how he presented himself, was the same Punk that I did enjoy watching back in 2008. That pipe bomb that mattered and was needed at the time in professional wrestling, especially in the WWE. That's the same Punk that I saw at the Ariel Helwani interview. And I'll be honest, I have more respect for Punk now than I did 6 months ago, because not only did he just say, listen, maybe I could have somewhat not done what I did and maybe walked away, but I did that in the beginning. I had those conversations with Tony Khan. I begged him to tell me to leave, to fire me, but he wouldn't. Instead, his solution was make another show and we'll just separate you guys, and that's that. But he never did separate them, because if we all remember watching it every week, the Young Bucks were on Collision and Punk was on Dynamite. So there was no true separation, and there was a possible 6-man tag that was happening throughout the whole entire thing. And in all honesty, now we're at a part where, you know what? I'm on Punk's side on this one. And he did the best he could to keep it to being professional. And now it's just gone.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think Steven's been trying to say something for the past few minutes. So
sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Welcome.
It's all right. Look, I love AEW, and I hope it succeeds. But I know Anthony's been saying it on many occasions. But Tony Khan needs to take control of his company. It's more like a manager problem. There's too many fights backstage. I'm just waiting for Mercedes to start ranting, complaining. Because wait till Jamie and Brett comes back. All hell will break loose.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steven. I didn't mean to go so long.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Like, I don't know much on.
This is more
Dylan's
like a manager problem, TK needs to have control of his company.
Yeah, he needs to get his head out of his
head. It took the air out of what would have been a great story building show towards your pay-per-view and made it about something it shouldn't have been.
Going off that topic now.
Roll the credits.
What was the overlay that happened? Because I didn't see that on.
It was this weird yellow
time till the
thing.
Bucks. Like they had a little countdown to the Bucks bullshit.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to try and cash in on the hype of that.
But that was so stupid.
It was.
And C. Henry says Akabono, the sumo wrestler that wrestled the Big Show at WrestleMania 21, has passed away. I actually just looked that up, and it is true. He died at the age of 54.
Oh,
yeah,
that's terrible.
So, unfortunately, he's passed away. So, moving on from that segment, we went to the FTR coming out, and I agree with you here, Dylan. They had FTR and coming out saying, let's just fucking move on.
Right.
It's essentially what they said. And that's the way it should be. It should be that everybody is moving on. Let's just focus on our own damn product and build that as the reason for you to buy this pay-per-view.
That was like, Dax, preach, Dax, preach.
It was, the idea should be that they
Not
build
for
the
nothing.
match.
I think he did a great job of taking it out of like the awkwardness that all of that was of us even watching it. I felt like
Yeah.
it went silent and you're literally just sitting there with your own thoughts watching this, and it was just kind of like, okay, now what? And I think he did a great job of bringing the crowd back, but I felt like it sucked that he had to do that. Like,
Did it give
in
you
the
more?
first
Did it give you more respect for FTR?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna remember what they look like now. I'm gonna be
We
honest.
did it,
No,
baby.
sorry, not for
We did it.
FTR. Not
We
for
did it.
FTR for me, but I
I'm
do
gonna be
respect
honest.
Punk.
I'm like, I'm gonna remember that guy's face,
Bro,
now.
if
That
you
was-
would've-
that was super powerful.
If you would have heard Dax's promo about his little girl that was going through some major health problems, and he's like, some people say, fighting like a girl is bad, but look at my little girl over, like, bro, Dax is a genius on the
He
stick.
was like, I fight like a little
Yeah.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause she was
I
going
would've
through hell.
cried.
No, most
I
people
would
did.
bawl.
Most people did.
Kevin
Dax,
says no, it was the overlay with the numbers 1 to 8. It looked like dance steps.
oh,
I have no idea.
I have no
It
idea.
was,
don't know.
it was yellow.
I was-
I think I know which one he's talking about. It's weird. It was like a quick flash of it. I thought my TV was broken. I was like,
Did it say
shit.
hello?
No, it just
that
was-
means Uncle Captain Howdy is coming.
Right.
Yeah,
Or the Undertaker.
Elite.
No, it's Uncle Hello. You
Followed
can't
right
call him.
by.
Oh,
the
sorry,
Undertaker.
it's cousin Hello.
Phone up
It's
everybody.
not
That's what AEW needs. If realistically, every company needs their own Batman. If Undertaker was in London, that would have never happened. The lights would have went off backstage. Undertaker would have came in. He would have double choke slam Punk and everybody would have been like, "Well, this is fun. This is fun. It makes sense. It's fun.
Legend,
Yeah, legend. This is fun. It doesn't. Don't ruin my fun because it doesn't make sense.
We're
Don't
not
hit
going
me with
back to
logic.
You
WrestleMania.
I'm
won't let
having
it
a
go.
good
You'll never
time.
let this go.
Never.
Never.
Yo,
It's
know,
pro wrestling.
buried Sean
It's-
that night.
It's
Oh.
pro
Buried
wrestling.
him.
It doesn't
We'll be
need
a-
to make sense. Okay,
We'll be at
I'm gonna mentally
WrestleMania
Put these down.
We'll be at
Mentally put this down.
WrestleMania 300. ABJ will still be ranting about this.
Do you remember the
He'll be
time
like
that the
every
Undertaker came in?
mania from here on out, he's gonna be like, "Wait for it, the Taker's gonna come out."
Oh wait, wait.
Taker is gonna be dead, and he's like, nope, no, he's coming.
He's,
He's
coming back
Grab
for this
that,
one.
grab
I know
that
it.
coffin. He's a rise.
Dong.
After that, we had the Danielson video package, and we come back to the arena with Renee calling out Will Ospreay for an interview.
First off, Will Ospreay, if you want to talk about fucking irresponsibleness on television, can you not show up in fucking skin tight Jake Gray jogging pants? All right, my girls are watching this. My girls watching this. Do you want to have some responsibility for yourself, bruv? All right, coming out here in tight ass gray sweatpants.
It's looking
Are you out of
good,
your
You
mind?
wear them every
comfy.
week, you'd still win fashion. It'd be fine.
Out of control,
Sorry, it's
irresponsible for the executives at AEW to allow Will Ospreay to come out with those skin tight gray
Yeah,
sweatpants
fuck the
on,
video. It's
just
the
showing
sweatpants
those,
that really
showing
bother
that
me.
dump truck he's got going on.
Yeah, does he have a CDL?
Jesus Christmas.
Does he have a
Irresponsible.
CDL?
Irresponsible television, bruv.
You reckon? Besides
So-
that, I
I'm
think
gonna
he
remain
cut one of
silent
the-
on this because I think you guys know how I feel about Will Ospreay. So
Oh, he's
oh,
a
we know
legend,
how you
right?
feel about Will Ospreay, but he cut a very, very intense promo here.
Wait, what
and
don't you like about Will Ospreay?
We'll talk about that in the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
talk
gonna
about that.
that's
we'll
gonna
talk
lead
about-
us to
that's
like
a Discord
4-hour
thing. That's
stream.
not gonna
Okay,
be something
that's
I'm going to
fair,
put
that's
out
fair.
publicly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to start things.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
that'll move us into the Discord for that conversation because that's
Okay.
that's more
Fair
of
enough.
something that should be in the Discord rather than aired on YouTube. Anyway,
Actually,
Will Ospreay,
you all know. I'll just send it to Dylan in a private message.
Okay.
fair enough. Will Ospreay calls out Hunter for the grind, saying that he's not willing to do the grind, and then turns around and takes the shot and says the only reason Hunter's where he is because he was grinding on the boss's daughter. Fucking love that.
Yeah,
Loved that. Osprey basically just being Osprey and being damn good on the microphone and saying how he is ready for to just be number one in the company. Like, for me, Osprey is AEW at the moment. Osprey is part of the reason I still watch AEW at the moment.
Mhm.
Like, I know that disappoints Kai, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And I just said that out loud.
Will Ospreay is one of my top 5
Is what it
favorites.
is.
So
Yeah. I think Osprey definitely, the Osprey Danielson match is definitely going to be the star of the show at Dynasty. There's no fucking doubt about that. Whether you love him or hate him there, Kai, he does put on a quality match.
I will give Will Ospreay the credit on one factor, and that is
The jogger
when
pants.
It looks great in sweatpants.
I honestly wasn't paying attention. I was like, okay,
You fucked up,
Missed
guys.
opportunity.
well,
Missed
a lot of us
opportunity.
were.
Yeah, couldn't miss it.
Could have missed that
I didn't see it,
CDL.
so
like as soon as I saw Will Ospreay, I just started going to scroll through Twitter. But the credit I will give Will Ospreay is when I don't remember if it was like the PWI people or Meltzer. It was one of the two ranked Azumi versus Starlight Kid above Kenny Omega and Ospreay, and we're getting like a ton of hate for it. And like one comment was like, "Did this fucking idiot really think that two females could go and put on a better match than Kenny and Will?" And then Ospreay went quoted and was like, "Actually, I want to make sure I get this exactly right because I know I sent it to Raz."
dun, 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 dun.
Hey, like, hey! Exclamation point! Seriously, Azumi and Kid are legit the real deal. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. I haven't seen it myself, dude, but those girls are two sensational pro wrestlers. I could put any of the goats to shame when it comes to bell to bell competition. And for that, I will give Ospreay credit because that's a really cool thing to say about two great wrestlers.
And the thing is that with what everybody classes as great is once again divisive because
Subjective.
everybody has a difference of opinion. What you see as great is not necessarily what Stephen will see as great.
Fair.
there.
Like,
Fair point.
there's people who and going back to ABJ's Undertaker moment, there's people
Oh,
who
no,
think
here we
No,
go.
that
the,
just
Starting them
overall
up
wasn't
again.
good. That just
The-
overall
the-
wasn't great.
people think that the Undertaker coming out was the greatest moment in that match.
And
I
you
think
should
the
grow up.
greatest part
And
of
you should
that
grow
was
up if
that
you think
I
that.
knew, like, if we go back and watch me watching it, I was just excited that I knew who it was.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like, I
then
spoke to-
and then I turned around and I'm like, but why is it him? But like, why?
I
him?
spoke to
'Cause
my
it's
mum about
fun,
it,
Lily.
and even
It's
she agrees
fun.
that it was not the right. She
I'm like,
agrees it
"Oh,
was good
I
to
know
see
that."
Taker, but she said it doesn't make sense for what was going on with the
No,
whole
not at all.
bloody bloodline story.
I'll say now, my take is I think Ospreay should have lost at Revolution. But
I know that.
no
I know you feel
nobody,
that.
nobody wants to die on that hill with me, I guess. So
No
Yeah.
one wants to die
So-
with you.
I think the Undertaker should
I-
have helped Ospreay win.
I don't remember
Nobody should have helped.
Revolution or
Nobody
who Will
wants to die
Ospreay
with-
fought.
Fair. That's fair. point.
Takashita. Or
Who
take a
did he
shit.
fight?
Take a shit.
Tak-
Oh,
Take a
Takashita.
shit.
Yeah, Takashita should have won.
Takashita.
I'll die on
Takashita.
the hill with you, Dylan.
Although that was a
Takashita over.
fucking fantastic match.
I'm all for it.
I love Takeshita.
Takashita's fucking great.
Me
I
too.
love
Great,
Takeshita,
great,
and I
ever.
thought that he should have won that and would have only elevated him a lot more. But you know, as ABJ calls it, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm Long
Holy
Long
Hannah,
Island.
we're like 3 matches into this show. It's an hour 15 in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Next up was the
my fault,
Julia Hart
probably.
video package. Then we moved on to Lion Hook and Shibata versus STP. Jericho causing drama for his team again. Are we getting a Jericho heel turn, or is Hook going
cares?
to turn heel?
Roll the credits. Next match.
Yeah.
I'm over Jericho.
So Raz, I will send you it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Uh-oh. Are you talking about what he said, or what I would have seen earlier today?
I'm sending
Black
Raz a
Sabbath?
picture to put on.
Is this about Black Sabbath?
This is Ween.
No.
This is Winky.
Apparently
I love
Jericho's
Ween.
turned
Ween's a
around
great
and said,
band.
apparently
Jericho's Ween.
Jericho's turned around and said that nobody cares about Black Sabbath. And
Get rid
that
of this
people
guy.
are
All right,
more
I'm
gonna go to
influenced
bed
by
now.
Ozzy than
I'm
they are
done
by
here.
Black Sabbath.
I'm done.
Let's get rid of this guy.
I-
Cancel
bed.
Chris Jericho officially.
I
How
put
dare
out
you.
a tweet, and I'm gonna send it to Raz so I can put it on screen because I have no idea how to do that. And this will fully go and put all of my feelings about this whole thing.
Hold on. Give me a sec.
Anyway, what happened after this while we pull this up?
Sabata
Commercial
accidentally
break.
hit. Oh,
Shibata taking the pin was a dumb move. But yeah, when I told Jericho to get out of here, I'm sick of it. Fuck that, bro.
You're not wrong. Jericho, look, for me, Jericho needs to just go away and stay away for a while.
You know that one friend who just always invites himself to hang out when you're like, man, like we like him. He's a nice guy, but just like we need a fucking day break. You know what I mean? Like just tell Jim to stay at home this week. You know what I mean? And then Jim just finds a way to show up and he makes it about himself. And you're like, Jim, can we just like every single time you come out, the girls don't come near us. We can't talk to anybody. We're having a bad time. Like you're just kind of strange. You know what I mean? Like we love you. We want you to like, but just can you get another group of friends for a couple months just so we can have a little bit of a break? Jericho's Jim. Like you know what I mean? Like if Jericho just goes on tour and just like you know what I mean? Just go play with your other friends, go play music, and just give us a little bit of a break of Chris Jericho. I think it'd be good for everybody.
So I'm offended that you would refer to me and Jericho in the same vein because I'm definitely a Jim. I will out myself on that. I am totally that person, except I don't try to make it about myself, but I am definitely the person who always wants to be around with a group of friends, and I know people get sick
I
of
get
me.
what ABJ's saying, and it's that type of friend that outstays their welcome. And you're going out to dinner, or you're going out with your friends, or you're trying to go to bed, and
We're trying to go to bed. That's the best one. You're like, oh man, what a day.
I am so
And
Oh,
Jim's
beat
and
right
you're like-
now.
and Jim's
Jim's
like, yeah,
just
man,
sitting
what a
on your
day.
couch.
You guys want to watch a movie? And you're like, I'd like to go to bed, Jim. And he's like, all right, I'll hang out in the living room. You go to bed. I'm like, fucking leave my house.
Yeah, Jim, there's the
I'm
door.
so
now.
attacked right now.
Jim.
I've had a friend like that. I've had a friend where I literally had to walk them outside. I've walked back inside pretending I've forgotten something. I've shut the door, locked the door.
turn out. The
And you know what?
lights.
You know what happened?
They
They
stayed
ended
there.
up at my house the next day. In first thing in the morning, I went to work. They were still there when I got back from work.
Oh, wow.
my gosh.
Bro,
Now
that's
a stalker.
I'm not that bad.
what's that little girl who like would wait for you from the documentary? The little
Natalia.
yeah,
Natalia Grace.
she's Natalia Grace when you come home from work and she's like, I'm here to play, guys. You're like, fuck off, just go over there.
Fuck off, Natalia.
You're a nice kid, but I just can't deal with you right now. My mom just died or something. Like you're going through something traumatic and you're just like, you want to fucking play PlayStation? You're like, no, I want to go inside and cry. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
Fuck off, Jim.
You know, so
that is Jericho.
to bring it to WWE and last night's NXT, I think there's another person who's that very similar to Jericho.
The
That's
Undertaker.
Natalia.
Oh, listen, I beg to disagree, man. Natalia could be on my screen any day of the week.
That's only because
Natalia's
she
really
got her
leaning
cannons
into her
out,
ass
ABJ.
sex, and she's finding out what makes her special. You know what I mean?
You know what picture to bring
She's
up,
full of
Raz?
plastic now.
You know what picture to bring up?
What?
She's more full of plastic than a Barbie doll.
God bless Canada.
God bless that free healthcare, Canada. Thank you.
ABJ, this one's for you.
I'm so proud of that meme.
It works well.
I didn't expect
I'm
it to
keeping
do
that.
well.
I'm keeping
like-
that on here for down the track.
Yeah,
ABJ is disappearing for a minute.
I made it specifically for a friend on Twitter because I guess a bunch
He
of
belongs in horny
people
jail.
on her timeline were being super horny towards The Rock. So I made that, and apparently all of our mutuals saw it and saved it, and now it's just widely used across Joshi Twitter, and I love it.
It definitely works well. It works really well.
But where are we at now, Ras?
We're still telling Jericho to fuck off.
Pretty much, yeah.
Fuck off, Jericho.
Jericho heel turn, most likely Jericho versus Hook at Dynasty,
I don't
probably.
care.
You reckon
Okay.
Dynasty, or do you reckon they save it for Double or Nothing?
Probably last
You know
minute
what's
match.
worse?
Probably on
They
0
can save
hour.
it for the trash.
So Fozzy announced a tour, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, that means we get rid of Jericho for like 2 months." And then you look at all
It's
those
everywhere
dates.
Dynamite's going.
Not a single date is on a Wednesday,
It's
and they're all
everywhere
and it all
Dynamite's
lines
going.
up with
They put
it's
Jericho
everywhere
versus
Dynamite's
Hook.
going, and none of them's on a Wednesday. I'm like,
Of course.
motherfucker.
Put
Yep.
This
Jericho
is our
versus
one
Hook
chance to get
on
away
the
from
0
Jericho,
hour.
and we can't.
Jericho would never go on the 0 hour. Jericho's to
Jericho is a 0 hour.
to steal a line from ABJ. Jericho is Hogan of AEW.
Jericho is a
Lies are
shitbreak.
not lies if they're facts.
Yeah, Jericho is the Hogan of AEW at this point in time. Please don't fire me, but yeah. Next up, we had Dustin backstage running his promo. Look, we've had a Rhodes win a belt recently, so this is a bit of a meh moment.
Yeah.
We get Okada versus Argento, which was really not much of a showing for Okada.
Enhanced
Okada,
talent.
yeah, enhancement talent, jobber, whatever you want to call them. Okada wins. He then accepts Pac's challenge for Dynasty. Pac comes out. He ends up getting jumped by the EVPs, who get booed out of the building pretty much. FTR make the save, but you get a chant of CM Punk. I don't know if people noticed.
I don't think it went well for them.
Yeah, it definitely got
Are
a
they in
chant of
Chicago,
CM Punk.
right?
No, they weren't.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were in
okay.
West Virginia
Because
today.
Punk country.
I don't know, I thought I saw something where they said they were in Chicago, that they're doing this in front of Chicago crowd.
Yeah.
So I guess,
No.
yeah, I don't know.
They did the video in Chicago. That place would have left. The whole stadium would have been emptied. They would have CGI'd the
I don't know.
fucking
I think that
audience.
would have been funnier.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like, just because I think also that would be even more petty, which would be funny.
Yeah.
Because throughout this whole thing, to take it back to that, but like the one side I have on this is that everybody came out looking very childish.
Yep.
If they were involved, they looked like a fucking child. Punk looked like a child for reacting the way he did and going and having that.
But about that,
Perry looked like a child for going and doing the whole thing he did on pay-per-view with the "What are you gonna do about it? It's real glass" or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. What were you saying,
Also,
Stephen?
about
Mo's
that
petty.
about after that Okada match, FDR came out.
Yeah.
And
See, that could have easily been your segment for
but
the
that chair
the
shot
build.
in the head at the end, holy cow! I thought they banned chair shots in the head.
It looked like more of a shoulder shot, but it's
No, the last shot didn't.
No.
The last shot hit him right on top of the head.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they
Juicy.
could have easily used that as the build for the pay-per-view rather than trying to get this whole fucking Punk segment back into play.
cheap
Because
heat.
that
You know what
Yeah.
works for the build for Bucks and FTR?
their actual
Bucks
wrestling.
versus FTR.
Yeah, they wrestled for tag
It's a
titles at
long-standing
Fire
feud.
and
We've already
Jericho?
had it. Don't have to do anything else to it.
Yep.
Fire and
After
Jericho would have been nice. That would
Yeah.
have built a lot of tension.
Let's talk positively on something. Okada has a very
Next up, we had the Bullet Club Gold backstage talking about how they've dominated the past few weeks by taking out Darby Allin and then taking out Billy Gunn and defending their trios or 6-man titles. Can't call them trios because they're in ROH. But then Jay White says he wants a match on Rampage, but he doesn't want Billy Gunn. So he gets a random match on Rampage against someone, I can't remember who. We next move on to a Tony Storm segment where she brings out Thunder Rosa to celebrate. Tony Storm attacks Thunder Rosa. Purrazzo comes out to make the save, only for Thunder Rosa to crack the shits and basically push her away. We then get Mariah May coming out. Tony Storm plants a kiss on Mariah May after taking a swig of champagne. And we get Mariah May versus Anna Jay. I'm going to throw this over to you, Kai, because you're the Joshi guy.
Yeah. Okay. So, did Tony like fully leave, or is he like coming back?
He'll come back. He'll come back. I think he's just going to the bathroom.
Okay. So, because I wanted to go and bring this one up.
Okay, maybe wait till he gets back. Maybe wait till he gets back. But we get Mariah May.
So we have Tony Storm wiping off Thunder Rosa's makeup a little bit in face paint. I'm just trying to stall for time right now, so
Yep.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
We then obviously Mariah May wins this match. After the match, Anna Jay locks in her submission. And Kai, this is your segment.
Go ahead.
So we had Mina Shakira. God damn it! I fucked up on Mina Shirakawa coming out to go and make the save. It was not one of those two. That's Azumi and Unagi, but you try. And Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May were both a tag team and faction in Stardom. As the faction, they are Club Venus. Together, they are Rose Gold. And here's where ABJ and I are going to kind of differ, because he really likes the Mariah May being Tony Storm.
Yep.
The reason I don't is purely because of who Mariah May was in Stardom, and which is very similar to Mina Shirakawa. So I guess it does kind of work with how they're moving things along, where both of them are people from modeling backgrounds who are working extra hard to prove themselves as wrestlers, who aren't just their looks, but then they also go and really make it about their looks as well. But you know what? Body autonomy. So I can't talk today.
Bodily autonomy.
There we go. Thank you, Lily.
She's very listen. I've actually watched her wrestle. Very, very good in the ring. But I also didn't see her.
Mina or Mariah?
Very, very attractive girl.
Are you talking about Mina or Mariah? I mean, that statement works true for both.
The Stardom girl who came out.
Mina? Well, they're both Stardom girls. What do you mean?
The one who came out with the Stardom banner.
He's talking about
Mina.
Yeah, Mina. Okay.
Mina.
Yeah, Mina is fantastic. Like, she's a very technical wrestler. And so they both have to work really hard or extra hard to prove themselves as wrestlers. Mina had a really, really great promo. And
AEW pulled one of their tropes here, and it's bringing someone out that they expect everyone to know, but no one actually really knows besides Kai.
I'll tell you this. I want to learn more. I want to learn more.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
Also, Lily, there's a question here for you. Are you making a new 3-piece suit for ABJ's next commentary gig?
no.
Close.
He doesn't deserve one.
Close.
He doesn't
No,
deserve
but-
one.
Real quick,
Only
hold on.
gray
Real quick.
sweatpants.
I was just told back here by the peanut gallery I'm repulsive for saying that she's very pretty.
No, you're repulsive in the fact that Kai and I have both trying to show you matches of hers, and you're not interested until now that you've seen what she looks like.
No, incorrect. I seen a match of hers. We watched Spark.
Yes,
And I was very
correct.
impressed with her in-ring work. But that
But now
hard
that-
cam looked like a security footage camera in a gas station from
You're
1975.
not wrong.
and you
That was
couldn't make
impressive
out-
as it was.
You're
but
not
I'm
wrong.
telling you,
I
oh,
love
that's her.
I love
And
Spark. I
yesterday
love
you didn't
everything
like that.
Stevie is doing there. But yeah, production is not their strong suit.
But she came out and she has a very distinctive look. Listen,
The
at the
manner in which you said it. is
I am
what
not
found
saying anything sexual. I'm not saying, oh, I would
I
insert
didn't
this
say- I
in
didn't
there.
say that.
I'm just saying
Whoa,
very,
whoa,
very
whoa.
attractive star. At the end of the day, we're in a body industry. You came out and drooled over Will Ospreay in gray sweatpants. I'm just saying, I think she looked very attractive.
You know what? You're both going to horny jail.
That's
You're
right.
both going to horny jail.
Okay.
But
You're both in there for life. Lifers.
so Raz is bringing up, expecting us to know. I do want to add on to this, despite to further take it away from a point that I was going to get across earlier. But on Thursday's Stardom show in Philly, they had after the Club Venus triple or not triple trios match, Tony Storm came out to go and first bring Mariah May a thing of flowers, and then kind of starting a little beef with Mina, and they kind of go back and forth as Mina speaks perfect English. So, she's actually able
Yeah.
to cut promos in America,
think-
and it worked.
The problem that we have though is that a lot of people don't know the Joshi crew, and they aren't
Yes.
like you, who's someone that has invested their time to go and watch the Joshi crew and the Joshi wrestlers and Stardom and stuff like that. People,
And
and
so,
this is the one thing I bring up about American wrestling fans, and it's my biggest complaint is a lot of them don't see other wrestling besides what WWE provides or what the mainstreams provide.
and to further
Not our
that,
fault we have
Aren't
cool
we talking
shit.
about AEW right now?
But then there's
So-
other people like ABJ, there's Dylan, there's Steven, there's yourself, there's fucking everyone
Lily.
in our Discord.
yeah, so in this kind of thing, at the end of the whole promo battle, Tony's like, just remember that forbidden door is always open.
It wasn't-
huge pop from the crowd. And then on Ring of Honor Supercard, they have the Stardom Showcase match, and Tony Storm comes out again, furthering that feud once more. So I think that kind of starts setting. No, wait, no, I am wrong. Mina comes out at the end of Mariah May's match, or Mariah. Either Mariah May came out or Mina came out. I can't fucking
Somebody
remember
came out.
anymore. Yeah,
The Undertaker came out.
There you
yeah.
go. There it is.
No, it was Osprey. It was Osprey in the grey
I
sweatpants.
came out again.
Osprey pants. That's what I'll be for
no,
Halloween. It's just Osprey pants.
So they've been setting that up for a while. So I think at this point it's very clear that we are getting Mina and Tony at Forbidden Door, and it's
Yeah.
this whole love triangle thing with Mina, and I'm super into it. It's super gay. I'm all for it. And then
Listen,
But
you're
back
not
to
gonna
what I was
put-
saying
you're
about
not gonna
Mina.
put three smoke shows in the ring and do a female on female on female angle and expect me not to fucking comment on it. All
Be
right.
on the first plane.
You know what I'm
right there,
saying?
the first.
See,
You can
you're
bonk
gonna
me
do
all
it
day
from
long.
a
Jail
point
with
perspective.
you.
I'm gonna do it because it's gay and I love everything gay. But Mina Shirakawa, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be one of those basic people when it comes to her fans, and that she won me over with a promo that she did. And so she's having a match with Saya Kamitani, and Saya has her finisher is a Phoenix Splash, and unfortunately, she botched the Phoenix Splash and like landed like knee first right into her face, busted, like knocked a bunch of fucking teeth out, broke her jaw, and instead of going out and immediately going to the hospital getting fixed, she goes to the back and cuts a brutal fucking promo. Raz, I don't know if you want to play it, but I sent it to you. If you don't, you can just be like, no, we're not gonna play it.
We're not going to play it.
But it's the one thing that like fully won me over for Mina.
I'll play it in the Discord
It's
later.
like,
So,
all right, yeah, that's fine. And like Mariah May as well as somebody who's was brought in. Everybody's like, oh, she's that pretty diva girl, and is not anything good. And she went to prove herself as a good wrestler, and that's why I'm not really digging the Tony Storm thing, is I think it takes away from how much of what her character was.
yeah.
But I guess it makes sense with her trying to this love triangle thing, and it definitely makes it work. Honestly, my thing, the way that I want this to go, is I want them to just be happy in a poly relationship, and then
Yeah.
the three of them just go and take over and
But this is pro
be
wrestling.
hot
You know
gay
that ain't going to happen.
badasses together.
This is pro
someone's gotta
wrestling.
turn-
You know.
yeah.
Good. They could totally make a
Give
whole.
me my gay poly relationship and give it to me now.
It ain't going to happen.
It's not gonna
It
happen.
might
unless
happen
The
for 5
Undertaker
minutes,
says so.
but what is your thoughts, Stephen?
Well, sure, it's gonna last longer than 5 minutes.
Not me.
I can't
Not
wait.
me.
Sorry.
Steven's just like, I have no idea what the fuck Kai is saying. He's
just
swearing
waiting
at
for that
me
last
in
match.
another fucking language.
I tell
Kai
you now,
speaking
I,
Scoto.
I, I can make the rest of this podcast in a different language if you want me to.
Please
Listen, I'll
don't.
tell you now, the only way you're gonna get all of what you want is if the Undertaker approves it. That's it.
Right.
That's how it's working from now on.
Oh well, that ain't happening.
Then
We
it
know
ain't happening,
We know Undertaker's views on
Don't
gay
hold your
people.
breath. Don't hold
Um,
your breath. I tell you that now.
We
All
move
right.
on from that segment. We get to a forced sit down interview with Mercedes Moné.
I love how you said that. I love how you said that. Thank you. Go on.
Monet.
We
No, it's
sh-
the forced part.
we get she ends up getting attacked. Clearly, they're trying to do this as that it was Willow that attacked her, but it's probably going to be Julia that attacked her, like Julia Hart. Down the line, they'll reveal that because obviously that's going for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. We then get to the main event of the show, which was originally supposed to be the opening of the show. Dustin Rhodes versus Samoa Joe in a world title eliminator. Dustin ends up bleeding like crazy.
Profusely.
Yep. Joe wins the match
Busted
after hitting
open.
Dustin with the world title. Joe goes to choke out Dustin after the bell, but Strickland kicks him in the head and makes a save, and then attacks Joe, obviously, to end the night. And we end the night pretty much on Joe's face twitching out like he's having a fucking mental breakdown.
So here's my question, because Tony was talking about something during the stream, and so I couldn't ask it while it was happening. Joe did not go back to grab his belt off of Swerve, and Swerve is like seen holding his belt for like a good moment while it's panning back and forth. And then he just drops it as he was getting out of the ring, and it cut to black. But like, does like Swerve
How does
doesn't
Joe
have
get
the
his belt
belt,
back?
right? Like,
No.
right? Does Joe have to fight for his belt back now, or is it
No.
like?
So Joe will get his belt back. Someone will take it from the ring and give it back to him.
Yeah.
Me.
The rules now.
I'm asking as a serious question.
Yeah, he's champion now.
Honestly,
God.
sometimes in pro wrestling, they do angles where someone steals the belt and they refuse to give it back until they feel they
You go
can
back.
MJF
You go
two-way.
back to WCW, and there was a whole
It was like-
feud between Raven and DDP, where Raven stole the US title.
Why wouldn't he just get back up Even if Swerve just took him by
Because
surprise,
his face
why
was
wouldn't he
twitching.
just get back? So what if his face was twitching? His freaking
He was
arm
thinking
wasn't?
about the
His leg wasn't?
Undertaker.
He could get up and get
You
back over there
know,
and get the belt that
He
belongs
was
to
expecting
him.
Undertaker to show up.
Yeah, lights
you
came
know,
out. That was
there's
it
an
for him.
old school saying. An old
Oh, there
school
was an old
saying.
school move.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
That's right.
Yeah,
And that's the whole. That's what I mean.
So-
Like, go back to the Raven DDP feud back in WCW, where Raven stole the belt, the US title, and was claiming to be the US champion
MJF
for
Jay White.
fucking months on end. MJF Jay White, where
It happened.
Jay White stole the belt
It
and
happened, that dirty
was holding it
scumbag.
hostage until the match. Like, it's a
So
I mean, Dynasty's only in like another week and a half.
Week
Yeah.
comes Sunday.
still a week
can
and
I
a half.
just say that I called
It's a
it
week
again?
and a half.
I go and I open up Twitter, and Tony Khan has just made an announcement.
I quit.
Oh, Oh shit!
Of course.
Are you going to
Okay,
share
yeah,
with
I
the
gotta,
call?
I gotta send it to you because I don't know how to fucking do this thing.
That's because
Well,
you can't.
here's a
There
reminder,
are only
though.
two people that
I
can
called
do
it
it.
at the very beginning of the stream.
There's
He's
a
not wrong.
reminder,
He did call
though. Sorry. But there's a reminder, though. This Saturday is Collision Battle of the Belts. So
I
I'm
will
excited
not
for a
be
collision
watching.
now. We're gonna see why I'm excited for a collision, but I'm excited for a collision because I call this beginning of the day, despite the fact that ignore the
ABJ,
fact that I said it's gonna
Will
happen
not
on
be
Ring of
watching.
Honor. But
ABJ, get ready to use that image.
no, not for this one, please. Wait, no.
Because
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
wait. 1 second. 1 second.
AJ, get ready. Get those great sweatpants
Okay, never mind.
on.
Okay,
So-
you're fair to use it. She's 21. I had to make sure.
so this is the
I wasn't entirely sure.
he called it.
But on that image, the one with the hammer is Azumi, so that makes it funnier.
The one with the hammer.
What do you see? A hammer?
The
Yeah,
one in
what
the
the
cat ears.
That's not
Yeah,
a hammer.
the one in
that's
the
a
cat
fist.
ears is the one who holds the hammer, and my bonk go to horny jail meme I made. That-
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah.
So we're
Sure,
getting
it
this
checks
match
out
on
in my
Collision
idea.
this week.
All right, let's go to Kentucky.
that's gonna be fucking fantastic. Azumi is a monster.
Just for you, Kai. I get to use it again on you.
They're not.
I've been
They're not
using
even
that-
showing the ones that I'm attracted to on AEW, so it doesn't work.
I mean, ABJ's right in our stream.
It's true.
Uh,
The look on ABJ's face was like, I'll take it.
No, Tony Schiavone's trending, and it's just a whole bunch of memes of like poor Tony Schiavone. Dude looks like he's having flashbacks to the Russo and Nitro era while he just sits the commentary like this.
Yeah,
He really
disappointed
didn't
and
look good.
disgruntled.
yeah.
Overall, let's go over the show, everyone, of what you thought overall of the show and where you think they could have done better. Start with you, Stephen.
I rated a 6. What they could have done better is not show the footage.
Dylan?
I rated it 1 out of 5.
Okay.
It was despicable, that video footage, and it definitely depleted me as a fan from watching the rest of their show tonight and watching their show going into Dynasty. So I give it a 1. Good matches. We had some good matches on there. Very exciting people. But guess what?
And I think
Thanks, Bucks.
Dylan has just kind of like I was gonna say earlier. I think Steven, ABJ, and Raz can very much attest to this. That I never really have a problem with the matches on AEW. It's strictly how things are ran, the actions of people and the higher ups that really take me out of being able to enjoy the product, the show. And I've been that way for a really long time. Like
Yep.
it sucks because you're like, I'll see these talent that I like, but it's hard to watch it when there's just all this shit that they do that goes on. And it's the same way with WWE. Like now I have a semi reason to potentially watch NXT, but outside of that, I'll watch Mania and I'll watch the Royal Rumble and then I'll kind of tune out for the rest of it.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Which is fair. ABJ?
I'm sure it was a great show, match wise, quality match, and all that stuff. But the footage bit, the promo, that whole thing took me out of it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I came to this company as an escape from the other side, and you're making it hard to justify.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
my
there was
entire
the-
background is fucking AEW. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love that roster so much. I love everything
here.
that they do. I love the match quality. I love that it's an escape. And
Let the roster showcase what is
yeah,
is
let's
good about the company. Yeah.
100%.
CM
I
Punk
think-
posted an image of after that video, and it's of George Bush at like thing, and the banner says "Mission Accomplished," and it's George Bush going like this with a smile
Oh.
on his face, and I'm like, Jesus,
Not
buddy.
wrong.
I mean,
Not
good
wrong.
job.
For
And
me,
here's
that-
the thing: this is not like, yes, ABJ is a CM Punk mark, so anything CM Punk, anti CM Punk, he hates now. He hates AEW because CM Punk's not there. That's not the case at all. I just felt like the way you're selling this match is not needed.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, Henry, that is a bad fucking move if that happens.
I agree, but
Time Warner buying out the company is a bad fucking move. We learned that we should have learned from what happened previously with Time Warner and a wrestling company. So
Someone
fire
needs to just
Tony will
put
be
Tony
alright.
Khan
It's
down.
not
and
even,
be
like,
like, bro,
let's-
if we don't, if someone just sits Tony down and says, bro, we need to figure this out. Like, this is not the way things should be going down. We need to legit like figure out how we're going to do this going forward, because where we are right now is not working.
You need an
You
advisor,
need to stay off social media. You need to stop being like, if this is what you want to do, this is the way we have to do it. There has to be possible cuts. There has to be possible releases, because I think you already have developed a cancer here, and if you don't cut the cancer out, it's only going to spread and it's not going to get better. They need to start assessing it, because there's a lot of people who have been part of companies that have rise and fall, and they're working there now. And if they don't see that there's a possible problem here, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Tony needs to be an owner, and an owner first. He needs to put in someone like a William Regal or someone like a Scott D'Amore
That's what I
who
said
can
from Scott
run
D'Amore.
the everyday side of things and run the company in that sort of way, and just stick to being the owner and giving that paycheck out
Bro,
at the end of the
everyone
day.
essentially that I've talked to behind the scenes that worked at AEW or been at AEW all say paychecks are great, but we don't respect them. It's just that, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of respect there. They're happy they're getting their paycheck. A lot of them are taking advantage of the fact they get a paycheck, and they don't respect the tone and the tempo of the locker room, and it clearly shows.
Yeah.
I think
I'd
I
give him
think,
a flip
I
phone
think
as
C.
a my
Henry's
first
right
pick.
that Tony just needs to be the money guy. He needs to be the owner.
Listen,
He
he's not
needs
going to put his money in and not play with his toys. If he
Oh,
wants
of
to
course.
book and do that, fine, book
Yeah.
and do that. But when it comes down to disciplinary, when it comes to locker room environment and stuff like that, he needs to have some other people invest in it, or
Yeah.
just be like, it's kind of like saying, "Hey, Anthony, you're a millionaire and you're going to build a podcast network, and you have the opportunity to book it and do whatever you want," and then me turn around and say like, all right, Tony, we want to take your money. We want you to do everything you want as the owner, and we want your money, but we also don't want your input. Well, then go somewhere else. It's at the end of the day, it's my money, and I get to say what I do with my money. That's just the way wrestling booking has been since the beginning of time. Some people who have money, like a Ted Turner or a Crockett, they turn around and say, "Here's my money, but Dusty, you understand stories better than I do. Here's what I want, but hey, this guy, and this guy are my favorites, and find a way to make them top." You know what I mean? And then that's where your disconnect comes in sometimes between your booker and your owner, because the owner wants the star quarterback, but the booker wants to book his friend. You know what I mean? And that's where there's always, no matter how you slice that pie or who you put in charge of what position, that's just pro wrestling drama, and that's been there since the dawn of time, and that's never going to change. So even if Tony puts people in charge, it's not going to fix the problem. Fixing the problem is fixing the culture.
Yep. Agree.
Yeah. Let Long Island's greatest podcast go ahead and give a booking a shot. You know what I mean? I'll probably get that shit batten down the damn hatches. We
Bro,
get
they
that
would
shit
spit
going
in your
better.
mouth.
Oh, I'd love to spit right back at him and tell him, guess what? Changes are coming. Cuts are happening. And Tony Khan's getting a flip phone day one. Taking all of his
Look,
electronics away.
I think all in all, we all want AEW to succeed. We want it to stick around. And I'm not saying that it's crumbling. I'm not saying it's dying, that it's going to disappear overnight, because it's not. It's a company that's only 5 years old, and it's definitely hit a learning curve. TK needs to sort out the back area in regards and go, okay, we have to have some fucking structure here. We have to have someone, like, we have to have a management system in place and a system in place where if something goes wrong backstage, it gets resolved before it becomes a problem.
Yep.
And Tony needs to be the guy that at the end of the day is the owner, the president, whatever you want to call it. He needs to be that guy, and he needs to delegate to someone else that you are in charge of this roster. If you think that they deserve a warning, or that they deserve to be pushed off the show, or if they deserve to be fired, then let me know. I'll sign off on the paperwork.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You think now some former wrestlers may come back to WWE? Everybody keeps pitching that. I think there are some that will probably go back, but I don't think it's going to be as many as you think.
Right. Here's the thing. You don't just say, hey, now I want to come back to WWE. A lot of those people were released from WWE, and they were released for budget cuts. They weren't released because they asked to be released. They were released because they were no longer wanted in WWE.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too. And maybe this is booking strategy from Khan. If you know that guys who were released from WWE, who like WWE, who have friends in WWE and would love to go back to WWE, so let's just use as an example. Kai and Steven are former WWE talent who loved WWE, who bleed WWE, but didn't have a home after WWE released them. I bring them in, and I make them absolute megastars in AEW. But at the end of the day, they want to be back with their friends. So do I make them absolute megastars so when their contract goes up, they take all that momentum and go right back to my rival company?
No.
Yep.
So you have to worry about that. Like, that's probably why Andrade didn't get the huge push he probably wanted. It's probably a huge reason why the House of Black isn't getting the push they want.
Miro.
Miro, there's probably people who are Punk guys who are going to be punished for being Punk guys.
Or WWE guys, yeah.
Or WWE guys.
Only former WWE people that are getting good in the AEW's FTR, pretty much it. And Jericho.
I don't know, Danielson.
Or Danielson, yeah. Forgot about him too. Those
Danielson, Moxley.
yeah,
As
far as the most success-wise, how many times
successful ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's one of those deals where it's like you got to be careful who you book and who you push, because maybe at the end of the day you're going to book and push someone, make them a megastar, and feed them right to your, like Jade. They booked Jade to be monstrous. They built her up and made her a megastar and just handed her over to their competition.
Yeah.
But that's also because she didn't want to stay with AEW because they didn't have the prospects for her, and it's exactly what you were saying. They didn't have,
and I know she'll never say it. Like, I agree what she's saying is I don't have time. I'm 30 some years old. I don't have time to play games. TKO is a multimedia branding deal where you're in touch with all of Hollywood, from music to movies to everything. Being a part of TKO is going to get you more exposure. Jade doesn't have time to play around. Jade's popular because she looks the way she looks. She's not going to have that look in 10 years.
She did say that previously, that she wants to. Part of the reason she signed with WWE is because she wants to have access to the movie industry.
Yes.
She wants to
But
move
also
on.
everyone
from-
who was really helpful to her, like your William Regals and your CM Punks, like they left and she followed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I think AEW, for me, they need to pull back and look at themselves in the mirror and go, why is 2024 a problem right now when we were so hot for 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022? Like, why have these past 2 years been so shit for us?
yeah. Tonight's a hard pill to swallow if you're an AEW fan.
Yeah,
It really is. Tonight's
think
not an easy. It's not easy for if you're
I'm
sitting
sleeping
here saying this
uncomfortable
is
tonight.
why I prefer one company over the other, and you're trying to not so much wave a flag, but maybe say, well, this is why you should probably give this a shot over here. It's hard. It's a hard sell after tonight.
For me, it was the thing that took me out was that footage, that video footage, and that's what killed the momentum for me in this show.
Yep.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
I felt awkward watching it. I was like, okay, I see what's going on, and I had my opinions on the matter, which everybody does. And in my opinion, I don't think Punk handled it the right way. But at the same time, I can also see ABJ's side of things, of where he was pushed to the point of this should have been fucking sorted a long time ago. I've been in same situations where I've had to go at my bosses, turned around and called them, see you next Tuesday. And and
sometimes I'll see you guys next
Like-
Tuesday, you know. Sometimes it might
like-
be next Thursday.
but but
You know where you
I've
can
never-
see us though? You can see us in the Discord immediately following the stream.
Yeah.
We'll continue the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where I surely fall asleep in mid conversation.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going straight to bed, boys.
I think we're gonna get out of here.
I'll be in the Discord
Might
if
as well
anybody wants
get
to
out of
chat.
here. The
I'm
show's
gonna be in the
been
Discord
Yeah,
for a
see me
bit
over
until
a
I
bit.
fall asleep.
Yeah.
Thank you, ABJ. Thank you, Kai, for being here for the first time ever for a full show. Dylan, thank you for being here. Stephen, as always, it's a pleasure to have you by my side. Do you guys have anything you want to promote before I go? We end this stream.
Give me all your money.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
Done. Cut
you
the
know
black.
what?
Where's that dong?
Nope. ABJ and all social
not
media.
going
ABJ
to
podcast.
promote
Check all my stuff out.
myself, but one of my new Twitter friends just dropped. I don't. Give me a second, man.
Uh-oh. Is it
One of
something to do with
my
show
Twitter
on television?
friends just started a whole YouTube channel. So I'm gonna
No more footage.
I'll
No
drop
more
that link.
footage.
We're approaching
Go
2
give them-
hours here. It's kill it.
go get them a follow and we'll start doing some Joshi content.
There you go.
There you go.
Dylan, do you have anything you want to promote?
Not at all. It's time for bed.
Not
Okay, perfect. I mean, that's even better. Thank you, Greg. Good night. You know.
Once again, thank you all for being
Go to
here.
bed.
Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see you again next week. We have been the Dynamite post show. This is almost 2 hours fucking long, and it needs to stop.
I am tired. It's time to.